So what we will do today, so yesterday we created ec2, we provisioned ec2 using CloudFormation, right? So we will do the same thing with Ansible today. So first of all, what is Ansible? How it works and what is useful using Ansible. Okay. So first things first, Ansible is a configuration management tool, and you can use for infrastructure as a code as well. And so what is the use of Ansible? So there is no agent between the controller and nodes. Now the question is, who is controller and who is node? Controller is where you are running your script, basically. And the nodes are where you are executing that script, basically. So what is configuration management? Let's go back one step behind. What is configuration management? Making changes to your infrastructure, basically. Making configuration changes. What is configuration change, Vishnu? Come on, you are making us a little bit nervous. What is configuration change? Simple. For example, let's say I can tell you a very simple thing. Let's say I have an AC instance, right? For example, I have this EC2 instance and I need to update the tags to this instance. For example, I need to update the tags. This EC2 instance. What I can do? I can go here and I can just update the tags. What if I have 100,000 EC2 instances that are, those instances tags needs to be updated. So what I will do? I will write a simple Ansible script. And I will just simply run that script using that whole instances, basically. Making changes to your infrastructure, basically. Configuration change. Whatever the change that you are trying to do, not manually, you are not logging in and you are not doing it. You are using automation scripts, basically. Okay. And the best thing, here is a question. So when to use Ansible and when to use CloudFormation? People ask things like that. And you need to know when to use CloudFormation and when to use Ansible as well. So the CloudFormation is more into to provision something. Let's say I need to provision this EC2, or I need to provision a VPC, or I need to provision a something like, creating infrastructure. So what I will do, I will use the CloudFormation. But let's say, for example, I need to install some Apache, or I need to create a user, or I need to, make any changes to infrastructure, like adding tags, or, for that kind of stuff, I will use Ansible. Okay. And Ansible is pretty easy. It's not owned by AWS. CloudFormation owned by AWS, actually. So the Ansible is a Red Hat product, and it's a third-party open source tool that can let you make changes to your infrastructure, basically configuration management tool. So let's go back. Let's have an example and how it works. Okay. Let me open my Paint. I don't see the Paint though, but let me open it. Okay. Let me open my Paint. So, for example, I need to install, for example, like I said, for example, so I need to install Apache on EC2 instance, for example. I have 100 EC2 instances and I have to install Apache. In order to install something, what we can do. So let's say, for example, if I need to install any Apache or Jenkins on this instance, what I should do? First thing, what I should do? So I need to connect to this instance, right? Just log into that instance. Okay. Log into this instance. And is that 600 or 400? It should be 400, right?
Yes.
So what I should do, I logged into this this ec2 instance, and I can install install httpd -y, right? What else if I have 1,000 servers? So I need to log into each and every server, and I need to install Apache like this. What else if you have to repeat that every 15 days? And that is going to be a little bit pain, and it is going to be very like, you need to have a lot of resources to do that, right? And so how I can achieve that one with Ansible is, I can write a simple script. Okay, I can simply write a simple script. This is my controller. It can be my computer, or it can be any development server that I am given. Okay, this is controller, and these are the ec2. For example, 1,000 up to 1,000 ec2s, and I can call them as nodes basically. So the components of Ansible, there is a controller, and there is a host, and there are nodes. What people do, they will add these hosts to the host file. This host file is nothing but inventory file, and they can run this playbook against this inventory. So if it has 1,000 servers, doesn't matter. It can go and install Apache on those 1,000 servers just like that. Okay, how simple is that? Now let's look at Ansible syntax, like what exactly it looks like. Ansible uses only YAML syntax. Simple, very similar. YAML syntax, and it's a human readable. And Ansible has a pre-built software called modules. And all you need to do, just use the module. That's it. Very simple. And I'll show you how to get those modules in a minute. Very simple, straightforward. So any questions till today? This is high level basically. And if you want us to spend a lot of time, it can take like, a lot of days. And I don't think I can give you a very good assignment so that you can, do your own research. And this is the high level.
Here, sorry, I have a question. So here the Ansible will be in controller or in host? Will be configured in controller or in host?
Yeah, you will be installing Ansible on only controller, not hosts. You don't need to configure any Ansible on the host. You will be configuring Ansible on your controller only. Okay. But you have to have a Python installed on your nodes, basically. Python installed on your nodes. Let's say I don't want Python installed on my nodes, and there is a module called raw module. You can use that raw module in order to execute any commands, Ansible modules basically. But yeah, this is very rare case. This is very, very rare case, but we don't have to configure any Ansible on our nodes basically. Okay. Now, let's write a simple Ansible script to create an ec2 instance. Very simple. I'm going to make it very, very simple. Okay. So, in order to create ec2 instance, so I already have ec2 instance. I can go and get out of this. Okay. Now, let's go back to my working directory. Okay. What I will do, so I will just simply create one Ansible file to create an ec2 instance. Okay. So create ec2.yaml. This will end with YML. Okay. This file extension is YML. Okay, the first thing. Then the first three lines, the first line of this YAML is 3 hyphens. So that 3 hyphens will tell you whether this is a YAML file or what this file is. So the first line is 3 hyphens. Then it will start 1 hyphen and a space. And the first, in the playbook, the first line will be hosts for sure. And let's say you have all your hosts in a specific file, and you are calling that specific file as a web servers, right? Web servers, for example, you can provide something like that. Next, each operation in Ansible called tasks. Okay, and you will provide one by one task, one task at a time, like one by one. And I'll tell you how to get that code. You see that? So the first thing, the first line started with a host, and the second line tasks, right under the host and the tasks. Now we are writing tasks one by one. So the indentation, you are not supposed to use the tab. You're not supposed to use the tab inside a YAML syntax. Okay, make sure you are not supposed to use the tab inside a YAML syntax. Then right after tasks, the task one will start something like this name. I can write like a create an ec2. This is just a name reference for your task. Okay. Then there are modules. What I will do, I can go to Ansible documentation. Create an ec2 instance. Okay. Now what I will do, I can copy the whole code from here. So if you go to this documentation, they are the ones who need to tell us how to use this automation tool. And they have provided an excellent documentation. You're going to love this documentation. Everything you need to know, just this documentation. That's it. Ansible documentation. So Ansible version 5 is the latest version. It's still under the development, and a lot of people are not using that. 2.9 is a major level. A lot of people are using 2.9, version 2.9. Okay. So here I will discuss about this table, but before that, let's take a look. So this is the key of this task. What is the module here? Is ec2 is the module. And inside that ec2, you would have to provide the key pair name and instance type and the image. You want to wait till the ec2 instance created. Yes, I need to wait. Or monitoring, subnet, all those details that you need to provide. Okay, and let's do provide those details. This name is just for your reference. When you execute the playbook, you will see output with the top line of your output. Create an ec2. That means, okay, this is the output for this task. Okay, let's create simple, ec2. Inside ec2, you see that after 2 steps, let's say if you get something like that, right? Go to just to use space, no tab. Okay, just to use space. Once you get there under E1, 2, that's how I can start. Some people they use only one space after module, indentation basically. Okay, so what I will do, I'll just copy all the code from here and I'll just replace the values. Okay, let's go here. And correct indentation. So these are all belongs to ec2 module, right? Just put them under ec2 module. Okay, the group where you are trying to create your, add this instance to what group, like a web servers or database servers or blah, blah, blah. So I don't have any group and it's not mandatory. So what I will do, I'll just remove this one. And the next, how many number of instances that you want? I can just do 1. And I will provide the subnet ID. And I will say assign public IP. Of course, you need public IP for your instance. Okay. IAM user, something like that, right? Yeah, that is good. Instance type is t2.micro is fine. AMI is, I'm going to replace AMI from AWS. The same way, whatever Radhika did, I'm doing the same way. Let's copy this AMI. Okay. Now subnet ID. Let's go and pick the subnet ID. Let's go ahead and pick the subnet ID. Where you gonna get the subnet ID? Just select the instance and you will get the subnet ID right here, right? You can go and get the subnet ID from here as well on the VPC console as well. But I like to use the whatever the subnet ID for this computer at the moment. So I'm gonna go here, just replace the subnet ID. Okay. Do I have any web servers or something like that? I don't have any web servers. I don't have any instances over there. I'm not running any inventory. So by default, what could be this value? Like you said, if you have any hosts, if you add any host on any particular inventory, then only you can provide that one, right? And what if I don't have anything? By default, I can run localhost. It's default. By default, Ansible runs on local host. Okay, and let's go ahead and run this playbook. The command to run the playbook is Ansible dash playbook and a playbook name. How simple is that? Is it going to work? Okay. It says something Boto required for this module. Okay. So how do we install Boto? Right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do cat I'm going to copy all this script. Okay. What I will do, I can connect to that ec2 instance. Okay. Okay. I'm in the wrong folder. So that's why it is unable to find that key. Now let's connect to that instance. I'm going to create here. You can install Boto as well, but I'll tell you how to do that. Okay. Insert. I'm going to go paste it here. Now run the script from here. Ansible. I don't see any Ansible. You know why? Ansible is not installed on this computer. So what I'm going to do, sudo yum install Ansible. Okay. This guy says Ansible package is not available. Ansible is available in Amazon Linux extra topic called Ansible 2. Okay. This guy got us complete command as well. Let's go and pick that command. Install. I would say yes. Okay. Now Ansible has been installed already. Now let's go ahead and run that playbook. You see that? So when you give task name, it's going to give you create ec2. Okay, this output belongs to this task. If something goes wrong in that specific task, you can navigate to the task and you should troubleshoot. That's why it is very useful. If you go their documentation, you won't see any names. You see that you won't see any names. But it is always a good idea to write a name, something like that. Okay. So this output says Boto is required. Okay. Sudo yum install Python. Pip. Let's install Python. I would say yes. Now sudo pip install Boto. Okay, now Boto has been installed.
What is that pip command, Vishnu?
It's a Python module, and Python and a pip both are prerequisites for the Ansible. So those two should be installed because this is a controller. The place where we are executing an Ansible playbook is a controller. So we would have to have Ansible setup on the controller basically. Is that good? Fair enough?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Now let's go ahead and run the playbook again. Okay, again failed. Okay. This time we got different error. You see that? So either region or ec2 URL must be specified. Okay. Let's go to our playbook. Okay. Let's say I have some, I have some error, something like that, right? That specific region or whatever URL, something like that, belongs to this module, and this module should have some mandatory and some optional. Key pair is mandatory, for example, instance type is mandatory, image ID is mandatory, weight is mandatory, count is mandatory, subnet is mandatory, public assign IP is mandatory. Same like that, this module should have some optionals as well. Hey, how I will know what is mandatory, what is optional? That's a good question. You see that? So this is the table for that. Each module has a table. This is the ec2 module we are talking about for now, and this module has a table. So in this table, assign public IP choices, you can be yes or no, AWS access key, AWS secret key, count tag. This is not mandatory. Is this mandatory or no? You will read them in these comments. Okay, let's navigate the URL. You see that this is what missing, right? So let's go. URL to use to connect to ec2 or your encabless cloud. Ignored for modules where region is required. Must modules if region is not used. If not set, then value of ec2 if any used. That means if you provide a region, you don't need to provide any ec2 URL. If you don't provide your URL, you need to provide the region. We don't know ec2 URL yet, right? So the simple way is to provide the region. So somewhere, anywhere, like a somewhere, or I can do something like here as well. Just to make sure. Yes, east, 1 or 2. What region is this? Belongs to. Let's go here. Let me navigate to my AWS account. Northern Virginia is US East 1. So let's go here, US East 1. Still it is going to fail, but we'll see why this is failing is.
Maybe we did not specify AB.
Oh, AB is the
It doesn't have AB for the Virginia, I guess so.
no A, B, C, D, those are the availability zones. Okay, availability zone is nothing but a space inside a region. You can create instance anywhere. It doesn't have to be a specific availability zone. Okay, so this time we got the different error. Can someone read louder and tell me what this is telling us?
No handler was added to authenticate. Secure credentials.
So
Do we need to give?
So what's happening here is, this is your AWS, right? This is your AWS, whole AWS. And this is your EC2. And on top of your EC2, you installed Ansible and you're running the script. What you're trying to do, you're trying to create one more EC2 instance, right? One more EC2 instance. So in order to create an instance, you should have a permissions. Permissions to where? You should have your like a IAM permissions to with EC2 full access. Then only you will be able to create. or you should have your root full access like that. Then only you should be able to create. How I'm going to do that? I'm doing it from the script, not from the console. So how I can get access? Even Vishnu, I'm inside AWS, and why would I need like a log into that again? It doesn't matter. You are running the script from this server and creating one more server. These two are independent servers. There is no relation between those two servers. In order to create one more instance, what you need to do, you need to go out and make an API call to AWS. Then you can create an instance. In order to make this API call, you should be providing your credentials. What else if I'm using script, not like a management console? That's where the big picture coming up. The big picture is, if I go here, if I go to this documentation, you will see something like, you see that access key and secret key, right? These two values should be provided in the script basically. Okay, and I don't have any access key and a secret key. How I'm gonna provide those details, Vishnu? Okay, that's good. Let's go ahead and create an IAM user, and that IAM user will have access key and secret key, and provide those access key and the secret key inside a script. And let's see how does that look like. Okay, so this IAM user should have what permissions should have? What we are trying to do using that script?
Ansible permission.
No.
Creating instance.
Exactly. So we are trying to create an ec2, right? So that credentials, what exactly happening is, let me go to that pane. Where is pane? Yeah. So Ansible already installed on this box, and we are good there. And you have your script ready, and we are good there. When you run your script, it is making an API call to your AWS account and creating one more ec2 instance. In order to make this API call, you should have access to your AWS first thing. Okay. And in order to create an instance, that access should have a rights to create an instance. Okay. Now, what we need to do, we need to create an IAM user. You see that programmatic access. So we will get access key and a secret key, and I can select a password as well. That's fine. I can just do custom password. And just unlock that one here. So this user should have ec2 full access, right? Then only he will be able to create an instance. Now I can download this CSV file, and I can go ahead and get those access key and secret key. Okay, so this is the access key, right? I can go here, open a script. Insert here. Let's go to that CSV file again. Okay. Let's get the secret key.
Krishna, I have a question here. I
Yes.
don't know whether it is right or wrong. So here you log in as an ec2 user, but you are giving access key and secret key for the user you have created.
Yes. So I didn't. So what we are telling Ansible is go ahead and create an ec2 instance. That's what we are telling. Now Ansible need authentication. Ansible need permissions to create an ec2 instance. Does that make sense?
Okay, I
No?
will ask you later. Yeah.
No. So what we are telling Ansible is go ahead and create an ec2 instance. That's what we are telling. Are we clear there?
Yes.
We are trying to create an ec2 instance, but we are using a third-party guy called Ansible. That guy need key to create something in your home. And now, hey, I need a key to create your, something in ec2 instance. And we are providing key, this access key and secret key of a guy who has access to ec2. Then only he will be able to create an ec2 instance. Does that answer your question, actually? Let's go ahead and run the script and let's see what happens. Let's go to our management console. Let's go to our ec2. You see that second instance has been initializing, you see that? Okay, now let's go to our script and you see that success changed, success, and the instance has been created. Any questions, any doubts? Okay, if there is no questions,